So there's been this video on TikTok of a Nigerian woman who made some controversial takes pertaining to dating and relationships. There are specifically two videos I want to react to, and I'm going to share my input. And yeah, so let's just get right into it. So the first video that she made that kind of went viral on the internet was her saying that she doesn't go on coffee dates. And she lists off reasons why. So I'm going to show you here, and I'm going to react to certain bits that I found to be pertinent of that video.
So I do not accept coffee dates from men, and I just want to talk about it. I do just want to say that my reasons are just that, my own, so don't get under my comment section upset or in your feelings. So why don't I accept coffee dates? Well, besides the fact that I'm really not much of a coffee drinker, I find that coffee dates are low effort, they are cheap, and they are the biggest waste of time, honestly.
Now, out of all the reasons that you listed off not accepting coffee dates, not liking coffee would be the least controversial reason that I can accept. Although non-coffee items do exist at coffee shops. But either way, all of your other reasons had to do with money and wanting to go on a more lavish date. Well, in and of itself, I can understand why you would want that. It definitely comes across as someone who just values money on a date and just getting stuff instead of actually getting to know the person.
So when I go on dates, I truly do like to look my best because I do believe that first impressions matter. So I really do put a lot of effort into my look, and I find that putting effort into my appearance for $5 bean juice is a waste of time. So when you ask a man, why do you like to take women out for coffee dates, they will give you a bunch of reasons, and I'm just here to tell you that they will never tell you the true reason as to why they ask women out on coffee dates.
So basically, you just go around invalidating their exact reasoning for why they don't want to take you out to somewhere other than a coffee date and try to insist that it must be some reason that makes you feel better because you don't actually want to hear the actual reason. And you're trying to push that into other women instead of actually listening to the men that are taking you out on dates. Some men do not want to spend all of their income on a date. I'm pretty sure that is a reasonable explanation as to why they keep their dates relatively cheap and affordable, especially in this economy, especially when you're dating the average man, who that makes an average salary.
They're going to lie to you, they are going to guilt trip you by asking if you need free food. If that's why you're asking for him to take you on a proper date, do you need free food? Are you hungry? And it's really just because they want the woman to be able to prove that she is worth a proper meal. I don't care about what reasons they tell you. Oh, why does the price matter? It's about connection. You should only be focused. No, they don't believe in that. They really just want you to prove that you are worth a dinner, that you are worth a lunch.
No, they actually do believe in getting to actually know you as a person, but they also want to consider what are your intentions in this relationship. Do you actually want to get to know them, or do you just want to squeeze out whatever you can out of them? Because these men do not want to deal with women who only get into dates and talk to them and try to take them out just so they can get stuff out of them, whether it be money, gifts, food, like expensive excursions, whatever, especially when there's a bunch of women on social media just proudly declaring using men for their money and their food and their time. Like, these men don't want to deal with that nonsense. And the fact that you're just trying to gloss over that is just coming across as, once again, a red flag for a lot of men in the comments and just men in general. And it's showing your intentions when these men take you out. Come on now.
And with that information, with that knowledge, it's honestly disrespectful for a man to ever propose to me a coffee date.
Come on now, be fucking for real. You are not entitled to any tangible thing that a man could give you. You're not entitled to that. This is the most controversial part of this entire video that you made. And this is what I believe to be the biggest part of why a lot of the men were heavily critical of your video. It's because of this entitlement mindset that you believe that you deserve to be given something from your date, especially if you're just talking to your date, that you don't know each other that well on a surface level. You're not entitled to have them give you anything. Get over yourself.
I wouldn't even go on a coffee date with my friends. My friend knows better not to ask me to have coffee with her. And I know better not to ask my friends that either, because they're going to feel the same exact way.
Okay, but you're not dating your friends, nor are you expecting your friends to pay for your dates or your dinners or whatever you're doing with each other. At least I would hope you're not. Otherwise, I really question your relationships that you have with the people around you. Okay, so shortly after her backlash that she got, she made a response video pretty much summing up that she will refuse to date African American men. And obviously it's like, on a surface level, if you date whoever you want to date, that's it's skin off my bones. But it's like, the fact that you decided to take this route after getting a whole bunch of responses from a video that you deliberately made controversial and provocative to get attention and views. And then watch this video, you guys, because she's going to pretty much plan to make herself out to be this victim right here. And it's just like classic, victimhood mentality, strategy, manipulation tactic that these people online try to use to garner sympathy from people. Listen to this.
So I don't date American black men. I have never dated an American black man, and my reasons are quite simple.
So basically, you're going to cut off an entire demographic of people within your potential dating pool, even though you've never had any dating experiences from said group of people. Make it make sense. This already doesn't even make any type of sense. But as you go deep into the video, as you listen to what she says, it's pretty evident that a lot of the reasons is going to stem from her previous videos, even though they're not really good reasons. Just listen.
So a few days ago, I made a video about coffee dates, and I basically talked about how I would never accept a coffee date as a first date. I think it's low effort, and it's just not my thing. Surprisingly enough, and I was genuinely surprised, 98% of the commenters and the people that were upset were American black men. So shocked because I didn't think that video would land on their For You page, but it did, and hundreds of them, were crying on my shoulder over the fact that I would not drink bean juice on a first date with a man or with anyone.
Don't lie. You knew that video was going to get some kind of backlash, some kind of virality, like you were going to get views, because you know exactly what to say at the right moments. You used the right language. You knew exactly what you were doing. These types of conversations are very volatile on the internet, especially among black people in America, like dating and all that. You wanted to get into the conversation and you wanted some clicks and views. This was intentional for sure. Don't try to act like you are just this innocent bystander trying to just share your honest opinion. You wanted some reactions.
They were in my comments calling me all types of names, saying that I'm a gold digger and saying that I'm this and that. And then Unprovoked, they started attacking me for my looks. By the way, I was so nice in that video. I did not insult anyone in that video, but they were insulting me. They were coming at me for my skin color, saying that I'm too dark and that I shouldn't have any standards. They were coming at me for my Afrocentric features. They were coming at me because I have an Afrocentric hairstyle in. Black American men honestly have this habit of attacking Black women for the way that they look, especially if you are a darker skinned woman or you have more Afrocentric features. They will attack you. So the fact that they came at me for my looks unprovoked is not surprising to me at all.
Once again, you're using this disingenuous tactic of trying to misrepresent your comments as if they're all just these hateful, insulting comments about you, while simultaneously ignoring the plethora of comments respectfully disagreeing with you, especially coming from both men and women, because when I come to the comments, which completely, you do remember that you didn't turn off your comments, right? Like, anyone can see the comments. But of course, taking into consideration that I'm reacting to this video, at least several weeks later, your older comments could have had a lot more of that. But now, when you go into the comments, you can clearly see that it's just a diverse set of comments of insults, constructive criticisms, backstories, or whatever. But come on.
So reading the comments and watching the stitches, it brought up a discussion between me and my parents about why I don't date American Black men. American Black men generally do not value courtship, traditionalism, or even marriage. And I'm not saying that all American Black men are like this, but a large majority are. They will berate you, break you down, and take advantage of you.
How can you be so confident about saying a majority of people are like that when you said earlier in your video that you have never dated one before? Make it make sense. The fact that you're making this assertion based on online comments instead of real life is just ridiculous.
I don't know why, but the sight of seeing a Black woman, a dark-skinned Black woman, having standards really does bother them. Maybe it's because in their mind, nobody ever talks about this, but they believe Black women, dark-skinned Black women, deserve crumbs.
No, it's because you believe that you're entitled to receive these things from the get-go, that you deserve anything, especially tangible things, from them simply because you are a woman, or in some cases, again, a Black woman, or a dark-skinned Black woman, or whatever. A lot of Black men are not attracted to women who are entitled and believe that they deserve to have things simply because they exist, or that they're attracted.
Colorism is real, and they think that we deserve crumbs and that we shouldn't have any standards. I mean, I was getting so many messages and comments saying, "You're dark-skinned, why do you have all these standards?" The only reason why that video got them really upset was because it basically told them to do better. And they do not take well at all to being told to do better, as you can clearly see, and it's because they are not required to. They are used to giving women nothing, giving women crumbs, but then receiving the world back.
And you're blatantly ignoring the other men, the plethora of men in the same comments that were also sharing their concerns about you coming across as someone who just wants their money and their food, that just wants things out of them instead of actually getting to know them. Because to me, it sounds like you're the one who actually needs to do better, or I guess, to be more accurate, you need to actually do something. And that comment about you giving the world to them, exactly what? What are you giving to them? Because I don't know who needs to tell you this, but your mere existence and your looks is nothing near the whole world. Please get off your high horse. This is embarrassing.
So when they were watching my video, they were so upset. They were like, "Oh, no. You want me to take you on a proper date? A proper date when all I'm used to is inviting women back to my house, or inviting women on a nature walk as a first date, or inviting women to my car to link and smoke? You want me to actually put in effort No, I'm not used to that at all. They are literally in my comments saying, "What makes you think you deserve a meal? You need to prove yourself." And when American black men say that you need to prove yourself, that just basically means you need to go through hell and back with him. They don't want to put in the effort because they're lazy, they are entitled, and they are cheap.
Okay, I'll concede to the points about you mentioning like date examples like going to smoke in your car or coming inside your house on the first date. Like, that's understandable, but you also have to consider the type of women that they date as well. The only types of dates where that would be allowed is if the woman is the type of woman that would be open to do those things on a first date. Those are the types of men and women who will also be more likely to just be open to sleep with each other on the first date. And for some people, that's just not their cup of tea, and that's perfectly okay. But once again, after that, like, your entitlement is completely just front and full center. Because again, the point of a date is to get to know each other, see if you connect, and hope that a relationship builds. It's not to assess whether someone can actually afford to take you out. If you're the type of person that evaluates a date based on what they spend on you, you're most likely not there for the right reasons. And these men are tired of having to deal with some women who participate in dating with that type of mindset. And the fact that you're trying to gaslight them and invalidate their concerns, their experiences, and their reasoning is showing your true colors right here and there. You're sitting there and claiming that these men are entitled, cheap, and lazy for not wanting to spend their money and their time dating women that are not guaranteed to be there for the right reasons, to get to actually know them, or to go on dates where there's no guarantee of a successful relationship being built or founded on. Like, you're just expecting men to just continuously spend all of their time and their money on random women or women that they're just getting to court for the first time, that they're on the talking stages and all that, that they're not very closely familiar with, for the offset of a chance that this relationship would solidify. For what? It is not difficult to commit to actually getting to know someone on a date. You do not have to go hell and back just to be genuine and honest. If it really is such a difficult thing for you to do, that sounds like a you problem, an internalized issue that you have.
Okay, so the rest of the video is just her repeating the same dance of, it's not all African American men, but it's most of them, and most of them don't believe that black women are worth all that, and it just ends abruptly there.
I just wanted to end this video on this remark that she made about black African American men no longer being traditional. And I don't agree with her in that statement. I believe that African American men are way more traditional than African American women, like socially and culturally, even though, like, in today's day and age, they're way more modern than like black men back in the older days, or like several decades prior, to be more specific. They're still significantly more traditional comparatively to African American women. Like, if we just examine based on how they operate things on the dating world, like, they're the ones who are expected to follow the traditions of courting and leading in the relationship. And in marriage, they're the ones who are expected to lead in the relationship. And even if you examine things like the marriage rates, like, black women have the highest divorce rates compared to every other race of women in America. And they have the lowest rates of marriage compared to other races of women. And just in America in general, they're also the least likely to be remarried. Black men are more likely to be married than black women. Like, so I don't know where she's getting this nonsense that black African American men are not traditional. If you want a man to take you out to these high-end restaurants, just pursue the high-paying men or the men that make the most money. Just pursue the rich guys. If you're so desperate to have a proper, fancy date that you can brag to your friends about, go pursue those types of men. Leave the men that don't have free money laying around to take you to these lavish places alone. Go pursue Nigerian men who have that kind of money instead of talking to African Americans. Right?